is Dr. Fred DiDomenico of Elite Coaching, and we're bringing you spiritual principles that you can evolve as a person, raise your consciousness, and fulfill your vision in life. I definitely believe, and I hope we all believe, that we are a part of something bigger. We are a spiritual being, and you have a vision and a calling in your life. We have several purposes in our lives. Maybe as a parent and a spouse, as a chiropractor, as whatever you're doing in your community. But you have a vision for everything that you're doing. And as a spiritual being, you have a desire. And desire is spirit-seeking manifestation. When you have a desire, that's your spirit seeking to create on the physical plane. And you deserve to reach that vision. Here's the key. From where you are to where your vision is. That takes faith. That takes walking out on the water. Are you a boat stayer or are you a water walker? You know, you go to the Bible in Matthew 14. I'm not here to preach religion, but this is a great metaphor for your life and vision. And the apostles, they're in a storm. And they see Jesus at a distance, way off, almost to the point where they don't even recognize him. But one man, Peter, calls out and says, "Lord, if that's you, command me to come." And he commands him. One person steps out of that boat, walks on water. Now the waves are, it says, the wind is boisterous. The waves are crashing. He's walking on water. Right? When God is calling you, there's a space between you and your vision. You got to get out of the boat and you got to walk on water. God is over there, you're over here, right? Your vision is over there. God's inside you. Your vision is over here. You got to walk with faith. You got to believe that you're being called. You got to listen to that voice. Peter heard that voice and he moved without hesitation. He moved in faith and he walked. Now then, what does he do? He looks around, he sees the waves, he listens to the wind, he starts to think. What voice are you listening to? Do you get quiet? Our last spiritual principle was being rather than doing. It's getting in the calmness, quieting the noise of the world, not focusing on your conditions, not focusing on money, on business, on these things, but quieting that noise so you can hear that voice of your calling. What voice do you listen to? You can choose. It's that voice of faith. It's that voice of truth that gets you out of the boat and walks towards your vision. Peter walks, then he looks around like the conditions of the world, the waves and the wind. He starts to sink and he says, "Help!" Reaches out his hand. Jesus takes his hand and says, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Right? Doubt. See, that's your mind. Your mind wants you to survive. Your mind doesn't want you to take risks. You got to be before your mind. You got to be in your spirit. Use that as a reference point. Listen to that spiritual voice, not your mind with limitation of thought. Not focusing on the conditions of the world. Not focusing on the economy or all these things or whatever it is that you're focusing on, but focusing on that voice within, that voice of truth. See, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself like God sees you? For 40 years, Moses was in the desert, looking at his vision, the fiery mountaintop. The world saw him as a shepherd, and God saw him as a leader. He finally is ready to accept his destiny, free the Jews. Denies God 5 times because he gets in the limitation of his mind. Finally, he decides, that's the voice I'm going to listen to. He's guided. He follows that guidance. He's told what to do. Then he stands. Sometimes we have the Egyptians behind us. We got the Red Sea in front of us. Yet do you stand and listen to that voice that says you can part those conditions of the world and you can walk through them? Just the way Peter walked on water, Moses parted the Red Sea, that's the voice inside you. The difference between being in the boat and fulfilling that vision is getting out of the boat and walking on water. You got to walk on water, have faith, and say to that mountain that you be cast into the sea. And if you believe and do not doubt in your heart, you shall have whatever you say. Be a water walker. Walk across that water to your vision. Listen to that voice of truth inside you, and you'll attain everything that your soul came here for. That's reaching your vision. Hey, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you. Thank you for sharing this experience with me, and let's walk on water together.
But when you go,